So you're moving to Atlanta or you've already moved here, but you're not 100% sure what you should be expected to pay when it comes down to those monthly costs. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the living costs in Atlanta in 2022. And by the end, you'll know exactly what you should expect. Many people find living in Atlanta can be much more costly than they expected. And after realizing what their costs actually are, they're quite surprised. So if you're not prepared for this, Atlanta's probably not the city for you. After living here in the city for over 22 years, I found a lot of unexpected things you really want to know about. And in this video, I'm gonna cover those for you. But be sure you stay tuned to the end to find out the most important and surprising costs that you may not be able to consider without actually living here in the city. These will have some significant impact on your choices. And if you like today's video and information, please subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell button so you're notified of videos as soon as they come out. And if you have any questions as we go through this video, please comment those below and I'd love to get you the answers. Whether you're renting or buying, there are some serious costs that you're going to want to consider. Not only is it your rent or mortgage, but your cost of living on a day-to-day basis. These are things like your electric bill, food bills, entertainment and enjoyment, the cost to keep your car and to drive it around the city. Basically, what you can expect your life to really cost you here in Atlanta. And if you're not prepared, you may find that living in Atlanta is a huge mistake for you. First, let's talk about those rent prices. It's certainly not for the sheepish. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Atlanta is $1,655 a month. In more expensive neighborhoods like Midtown, Buckhead, or here in the Fourth Ward, those same one-bedroom apartments range between $2,100 and $2,500 a month. Now you can find some lower price rentals in some much less desirable neighborhoods like Carver Hills and Amal Heights, but be prepared that the standard of living in these areas is much lower and the crime rates are generally much higher. Now, if you're thinking about buying a home, the median sales price is just under $400,000. And of course, much higher in those neighborhoods like Midtown, Buckhead, and here in the Fourth Ward. And maybe a lot lower in neighborhoods like Carver Hills and Amal Heights. You'll pay more for neighborhoods with great amenities like the Beltline or Piedmont Park, while neighborhoods that are closer to industrial parks and other less desirable areas might be much lower, like $250,000. But don't get me wrong, there are a few neighborhoods here in Atlanta where home prices are around $150,000, but you'll be taking your life into your own hands living in these areas. If you'd like to know more about the specific areas around the city, please feel free to give me a call or leave me a message in the comments below. Having lived and worked in real estate here in the city now for such a long time, I've had the privilege of learning all the neighborhoods and which ones are progressing in the best manner. There are even some neighborhoods that you could buy low today and will see some great appreciation in the coming years. However, you have to be very careful because making the wrong decision can be quite costly in money and even in your own safety. Of course, you can't talk about Atlanta without talking about the food and what it costs to eat here, because Atlanta has some of the most amazing food in the world from all different origins and on all kinds of different levels. Depending on the location, style, and type of food you're looking at in Atlanta, your dinners are gonna run you between about $30 a person up to $200 or $300 per person. Now, if you're thinking about fast food, your McDonald's will run you about 10 bucks and your Moe's will run you about 15. Atlanta's cost for groceries is about 5% above the national average. You can expect your eggs to cost about $2.15, ground beef about $5 a pound, bread $3.50 for a loaf, and your milk's gonna be about $3 a gallon. Of course, you can't think about Atlanta without thinking about its shopping. And of course, it has some of the most amazing shopping in the world. We have basically our own Rodeo Drive here. Of course, we've got Phipps Plaza with your Tiffany's, Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth Avenue, and all the really high-end stores. But some of the best shopping in the city really can be found at some of these local stores where they have really unique and different products, and generally at a much more cost-effective price than you find in those big box stores. When you think about entertainment and leisure, you'll want to consider your sports club memberships, cinemas, concerts, and all your other activities. Your typical gym membership is going to be about $40 a month. Your cinema tickets are going to range between $15 and $40 per ticket, depending on the type of show. Now, your concert venues, though, can be quite expensive, depending on the artist, too. For example, a small local band venue might be $30 a person, but when you consider a concert like Elton John, Maroon 5, Neil Diamond, or any other top performer, you may pay in excess of $800 per ticket. Atlanta has so many amazing venues and things to do, like the Georgia Aquarium, the Civil Rights Museum, the World of Coca-Cola, Centennial Olympic Park, the Ferris wheel, and so many spectacular things. But of course, always, sports venues come to mind. And when you think about those sports venues, we've got professional baseball, football, basketball, soccer, and other great sports events. The most cost-effective is the Atlanta Falcons, where tickets can be as low as $6 per game. Your Atlanta United soccer tickets, though, range anywhere from $55 to several $100s per person per game. You can occasionally find an Atlanta Braves ticket, though, for about $15 a person. Pretty much, though, it's in the nosebleed section. And if you're liking what you're seeing today, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell button to be notified as soon as new videos come out. Now let's talk about those energy and transportation costs, as they seem to be rising on a daily basis these days. Of course, those gasoline prices are on everybody's mind right now, and your bill can be quite large depending on how much you drive and what type of vehicle you're driving around. But I'll get to that in just a couple of moments. First, let's talk about that public transportation. Public transportation can be quite cost-effective, but it's often not very efficient and may not go to all of the places you're looking to travel inside the city. Your typical MARTA ticket is about $2.50 per ride, and you can get a monthly pass for $95. When you're thinking about a taxi, those can range between $10 and $100, depending on how far you're going and the traffic you encounter. The costs for Uber and Lyft have gone way up too in the last year. A typical ride that used to be $6 is now $25, $30 a trip. Now let's talk about those energy prices. When you think about your electric bill, it's typically gonna run you about $125 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, but maybe $400 to $500 a month for a single-family home of about 3,000 square feet. If you're considering natural gas as part of your bill and your home has a gas heating and gas hot water heater system, those energy costs can be significantly higher. For natural gas, I recommend you shopping your gas providers and signing up for one that has one of those predictable payment plans. And don't forget, if you do have any questions about anything I'm going through today, please comment those below and I'd love to get you the answers. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about those gasoline prices. If you're looking at an economy car like a Volkswagen Golf or a Corolla sedan, those get pretty good gas mileage, and you can buy one for about $25,000. However, if you drive one of those big SUVs, you're probably looking at some pretty hefty fuel bills, especially if your vehicle requires premium right now. Right now in the city of Atlanta, your regular unleaded costs about $4.50 or 60 cents a gallon, while your premium unleaded can run $5 or more. So that means your sports car that requires that premium gasoline and has about a 15-gallon tank, you're paying about 80 bucks to fill it up. But when you consider those 25-gallon SUVs with regular unleaded, you're probably looking at a bill about 120 bucks a tank. Considering how far you drive is also a serious thing to think about when living in Atlanta. If you live in one of those lower priced areas where you have to drive further into the city, obviously you're going to use a lot more fuel than if you live in one of the higher priced areas and only have to drive a couple of blocks to work or the store. Depending on your work and your drive schedule, these can have some significant impacts on your monthly expenses. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about anywhere where anything is and where they may be related to where you will need to go. For example, where you live and where you work. You may find this actually more cost efficient to live in a more expensive area where you don't have to travel very far and there's a very walkable lifestyle. However, if you're using mostly public transportation and only going to specific areas with easy access to those transportation routes, you might find it maybe a very cost-effective place to live outside the city and live on a much smaller budget. You know, while this all may seem very daunting, when you compare it to cities like Seattle or New York, the cost of living is actually about 50% less here in Atlanta. But if you compare it to rural areas, it may be 40 or 50% more expensive. But as you can see, it can be quite costly to live in Atlanta if you're not prepared. And if you haven't planned properly, you might find yourself in a very difficult situation. As always, if you have any questions on any of this, I've lived here in the city for 22 years and served hundreds of families moving here. It's always my pleasure to help you find your place and guide you through the very best decisions. Please feel free to reach out to me in the comments section or by phone or text anytime. I love being your Atlanta resource. You know, I do get calls all the time for folks moving inside the city in places like Buckhead, 4th Ward, Midtown, Virginia Highlands, Inman Park, and really anywhere inside the perimeter. I also have great resources outside the perimeter and outside the city of Atlanta. So if you have any questions about moving to Atlanta or really anywhere in the United States, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help guide you to the perfect destination that fits your needs and lifestyle. My phone number will be in the comments below this video, as well as pretty much anywhere on my channel. And please help me beat those pesky algorithms by liking, sharing, and commenting on my videos so I can reach other amazing folks just like you. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you. And if you like this video, I know you're gonna love the next one that pops up on your screen.